Got in on Tuesday. Took the holiday Monday, and yep, they're going to work. Hopefully, they're working out right now.
Big time for you guys, though, both as summer conditioning, getting everybody in the building, and transfers and recruits, and then also
Huge
being
month.
out here.
Huge month of June with our guys. Yeah, getting in shape, back into the weight room, reinstalling some schematics. Got some new players coming in. We're excited about all of that. So it's, and then you throw in the recruiting side. It's a busy month.
When do you expect the full complement of guys coming in, like freshmen and all that? It's just kind of trickle in.
It'll be a little bit of a trickle, but by the end of the month, we should be full go into June.
Yeah.
What do you think about this? No, you nothing to do with you, but like the night games being announced to start.
Yep. Nothing to do with. I think the stage is pretty good. You look at some of those Friday nights, Fox. Just speaking for the league, there's some TV windows that are pretty appealing, man. Yeah.
And then the NCAA settlement, just kind of broad thoughts on where the direction is going with that?
Into the idea of more opportunity for players. I think this creates some way a path forward. There's still a lot to figure out after that's finalized.
Obviously, it's kind of a unique time with college football and the transfer portal and everything, and this has been a conversation for a while now, but with Magnum going to Michigan and Samaj coming to Michigan State, there was some fans that were a little upset by so-and-so the player trade or player swap, whatever you want to say. Just what do you think of, players going to rivals and stuff like that?
This landscape, this day and age, across the country, guys have opportunities to transfer, and so I think it would become more and more common.
John, what's it been like recruiting in the state of Michigan and getting to know this landscape since you've been here?
Been good. I'm excited about, opportunity this month to get around more players. We've got camps on our campus. Hopefully we get a lot of, in-state local talent. I think we said it from the beginning, want to build this roster inside out, and I have been impressed with the amount of talent within a driving distance of our place.
How about the reception of you guys? How have you felt in terms of being received?
Yeah, feel good. On the high school coaches end, players, the amount of players we had to come visit through spring. We'll have a bunch of official visitors this next month, so I think it's been good.
How is, for an event like this, how has the NIL landscape changed things? I mean, is there any difference with when you're trying to recruit these players compared to maybe 4 years ago?
Yeah, there's definitely a difference. It still starts with the evaluation process and it's beyond. I think that's a piece of the pie. Yeah. What we're looking for is guys that it is a piece of the pie as they're considering their options. But there's the education, the scheme, the staff, the fit, the area. All those are pieces of the pie.
I know you said it's going to become common, with players going to rival schools and stuff, but rivalries is kind of what college football was built on,
And I'm
right?
not trying to downplay the rivalry part, but I just think...
I guess what I was curious is, do you think, could the portals kind of hurt the sanctity of rivalries in college football or change that?
Yeah, I'd love to, again, go back to the settlement, finding ways to maybe have more guardrails on it. I don't know if that's going to be a possibility on rivalries end. And I'm not trying to say it's going to be very, very common, but just in this landscape nowadays, it's going to happen.
Mm-hmm. So you got out in May for evaluations, I would imagine, at schools and so forth?
I couldn't. Head coach couldn't. All the assistants did, and we did a heavy amount of it, going through schools, watching tape. Coaches worked really, really hard. Right after spring ball ended, got with our players, and then they were on the road for, I think, it's solid 4 weeks.
What'd you learn from them as they came back? Any takeaways?
I think the reception a little bit. There's a history of Michigan State in the area, especially the state of Michigan, Ohio, you get Chicago, Pennsylvania. That was refreshing to hear and exciting to hear.
What's been your biggest challenge 6 months in?
Biggest challenge? I think I'm trying to think what would be by far the biggest. Obviously, learning and building trust with the roster over 6 months, it takes time to build some trust. That's been something. Knowing the landscape is continuing to change and having to navigate when there's still some uncertainty on your roster size and how this thing's all going to work.
Well, speaking of roster size, the walk-on thing has become a topic. I saw SEC meetings. That's
right back to the settlement, and there's a lot to figure out moving forward.
But I would assume you would. What would your thoughts be?
I would definitely be an advocate for walk-ons, being one myself. Yes.
Kind of assumed as much. But
Are there any common questions that you guys get? What do people want to know about you guys as a new staff? in the area. Is there anything common that comes up that coaches and players are asking you guys?
Well, schematically, because it's going to be new on both sides of the ball, and so that part shows up. A little background and approach on how we develop and what's the plan to develop. I think that's shown up because we don't have, part of the staff doesn't have built-in deep relationships with guys, but we've been working and we're getting there.
Do you feel like the roster has finally settled down for a few weeks?
Pretty close, yeah. Potential addition, maybe one, maybe not, but it's pretty close to finalized.
Is it good to have, look at the number of 84 guys?
Yes, clarity. It helps to move forward. That's what I'm excited about this month. Diving back into the weight room, reinstalling, getting around our guys with clarity of this is what the roster looks like.
With this event, is it still the same granular level of talking to kids, building that relationship with them, or do you have to go to the people that they represent them now?
Well, it starts with the evaluation and seeing them move around. Some of these guys we already have evaluated and wanted to add to that, and then it's a process of the individual, his family network, those that influence them, get them around the campus, consistent communication, selling the vision of what our place is. So that's all the same.
We always used to hear that recruiting was the lifeblood of programs. That's what they used to say 5-10 years ago. Is it still, even with the portal going on?
Well, player acquisition now is kind of the lifeblood of the program. You've got to have talent and fits for your style of play and your program philosophy and all that. And so the talent you're bringing in is still lifeblood.
How does that change your just perspective or your philosophy on high school recruits and their importance to the grander scheme of what you guys are trying to do?
Still would like to build the roster from the high school level and supplement it from the portal. Long-term strategy.
Any idea what those numbers would look like from year to year? Number of transfers?
It's going to be fluid. Again, like I said, I'd love to be majority high school and supplement, and where that's if that's 80-20 or is that 55-45.
We were talking to Sharon, I think, coming off the floor. Is it the first time you guys have met?
Met him the first time at the Big Ten meetings last week.
Which I guess I don't know if we talked to you about. Yeah, I think we did. Just the rivalry. Maddie was asking about the players, and just your take on it. 6 months.
Love being a part of a rivalry in the state that's passionate on both sides of it. Looking forward to being able to be a part of it.
How did those meetings go? That's your old stomping grounds out there, right?
Yeah, they were long. A lot of information, a lot of topics covered. I was impressed with the organization. Big Ten Conference, first time kind of being in meetings that way. This was. It was first class and top notch.
You've been nonstop for the last 6 months, but there was that dead period around Memorial Day weekend. Were you able to just unplug a little bit?
Did take a couple days, deep breath. Yeah, I was LA for those meetings, and then stole a couple extra days to take a deep breath.
With the transfers coming in and the incoming freshmen coming in now, the onboarding process or whatever you might want to call it, what are some of the messages that you have for those guys as they report to campus and so forth?
Getting there and getting them settled, so the organization, the structure of it, making sure they're getting tied into the teammates on the team and working, looking after the new guys that are here, looking after the new guys.
How's Team Smith settling in?
Say that?
How's Team Smith settling in?
Doing solid, active, little league, and
good.
Playing some softball. Yep,
they're all in school
good.
And everything.
Yeah, a couple months.
Will it be a challenge with the number of new faces on the roster to build team chemistry? Is that one of the things?
I think that's something that's really important. Excited about that opportunity through this summer, especially this month and the month of August as we build it together.
What does taking a breath look like for you? What were you able to do?
Really just spent some time with the family. Was out of the state a little bit, that kind of thing. I'm going to go work, guys, but I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you. Sorry.